Hello. Welcome back to the
Hello.
Zero Strategy Podcast, episode 37. Thank you very much for
Ew.
everyone joining us in the stream. I'm joined today by my co-hosts. We have Grog Mode.
Hello.
We have the Mighty Kibbles.
Hi, I just kicked my camera.
And finally back from the store, we have that guy called.
Dad?
I'm from the dollar store. Hello.
Went out for Vex Milk. Finally came back.
Yeah. I didn't get the Vex mode. I was still sad.
We have a lot to talk about today. As always with the podcast, guys, if you're watching and you have any questions or topics or anything like that for us, feel free to ask in the chat, just at one of us so we can see it nice and clearly. But yeah, we always start with a little catch up. So Grog, what have you been up to this past week?
This past week, I started a new game. What was it yesterday with Lauren? That's actually pretty awesome, called Call of the Sea. It continues our ongoing trend of playing games on the channel that start with Call of. So Call of Cthulhu, Call of Duty, and finally Call of the Sea. It also seems to be continuing the trend started with Amnesia, where it's a woman lost in the wild looking for her husband. So we're falling into a very niche category here on the channel, but yeah, things have been good. I'm looking forward to Warzone this week and the crossover with like Cold War, and then of course Cyberpunk. It's fucking lit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kibbles, what about you?
I got really heavy into Pixelmon recently, which is like modded Minecraft with Pokemon. It's
Pog.
a lot of fun, and I finished the game again.
Was it the
Okay.
is it Danganronpa?
Yeah,
Danganronpa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God, I don't
crazy
know.
good game. It was so good. Oh my god.
I enjoyed the clips that you posted of that. They were very funny. Very, very funny.
Yeah, I pulled a Condi with one of those. Felt pretty good.
Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it. How are you enjoying Pixelmon? I was confused because I came to your stream, saw your title, but saw you were playing Minecraft. It took me a second to realize it's a mod.
It's tons of fun. It hasn't really changed a huge amount from Minecraft, just like added Pokemon and gyms and little mechanics, but yeah, it scratches a lot of itches that I had.
Good.
Run around and quick ball 30 things. Feels pretty good.
Okay, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And Manu, obviously it's been a while since we had you here. What have you been up to since last time?
Oh boy. Let me tell you, this episode is just gonna be telling you. Nah, so like it's been like what, 3-4 months?
Something like that.
I've been just focusing on work and school and shit and on myself a bit. Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good. I lost like 65 pounds.
Amazing.
Been
Dude.
working out every day, been doing all that shit, and then last week or the last few weeks been just playing a bit more again, because like in the last couple of months I haven't really played much because I wasn't really I don't know, I haven't really enjoyed anything that much. So since Cyberpunk came out, I've been just playing Cyberpunk. That's been super fucking fun. Yeah, like there's people T-posing in my game. They fixed that now though, so like basically you can't play it anymore. That ruins the whole experience. So yeah, but I've been really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to playing more.
Nice.
I read an article today that went over some of the best glitches that people have seen. I did not run into the dick out glitch.
I did.
Saw
I've
that on
seen
TikTok.
photos.
I saw it as
did.
well.
I'm 13 at heart, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I got new pants in the game, and I put them on, and it's just like it was sticking out. Bro, they fixed that too though.
I'll give you a pro tip. Your character can't have their dick out if they don't have genitalia.
If you're trying to be safe on stream, there you go.
Give them the full Kindle treatment.
Yeah, when I didn't realize that in your apartment flat you can like go and like take a shower, because I was like, oh wait, it has a shower feature. What does it do? And my first thought went back to like, well, now I know what showers do. I mean, I know how showers work. Come on, give me some credit. But Death Stranding, like he goes in the shower. I was like, are they going to show me going in the shower, or is it just going to be like first person? And then like it was, but then it was like, oh, there's a mirror, and I was expecting just a again, I'm thinking Death Stranding. I'm just gonna see the top half of myself in the mirror, and it's literally just starts with the thighs, but I'm just a Ken doll, and it's amazing, and I love it.
It's like the best thing in Cyberpunk when you go on in the shower is he does like the depressed thing where he puts his hands against the wall and like the head down. But it's like my character is just showering fully clothed. So like it's I don't know, he's like really depressed, I think. And then when he goes to bed, he lays in bed and doesn't even lay on pillows. Like I think the guy hates himself.
Yeah, I mean, I have not played very much Cyberpunk yet, unfortunately. So we might as well just jump into it. There was I did decide, like, you know what? I'm just gonna jump on. I'm gonna stream this game, and then about an hour into it, somebody made me aware of a tweet from CD Projekt Red, where they basically said, "Hey, turns out even if you have the DMCA safe filter on, there's still some songs in the game that can get you DMCA'd. So, best to just mute all your audio or all your music until we get this fixed." So I was like, you know what? It's not worth the risk. I'm going to play something else. And then they fixed it like the next day. So
Yeah.
it is finally fixed. But then I tried to play it off stream and it crashed and then it wouldn't update. Like it needed a small update, which it just wouldn't do. Steam kept breaking and giving me error messages. So I had to reinstall the whole game. So, you know, I've not had much luck so far. I've definitely spent more time downloading it than playing it, but I'll get into it at some point soon. So I'm excited to do that.
Nice.
But yeah, good that they fixed that so quickly. They've been on top of fixing the bugs and stuff. And I've had a few people say they finished it now, which I wasn't expecting so soon.
I think I've put 20 hours in, and I haven't left the prologue yet.
Damn.
So I haven't seen the credits, which apparently doesn't happen until you like really start the game. So yeah, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited to play more. Anyway, yeah, we got a couple little updates and a few little news bits today. So the first one I want to talk about, which we briefly spoke about with Katie last week on the podcast, was the Boost Stream feature, which is the new thing that Twitch is bringing in to try and support, you know, smaller growing channels. So I actually got an email which answers a lot of questions that I had about it. So I'm going to just basically read this email through and we will kind of, you know, if there's anything we're not clear on, we can discuss. But so
It's really cool that Mr. Bezos sent you that email.
yeah, direct from him as well. It was crazy.
He signed it himself. He even kissed the letter.
So the email says, last week we introduced a community challenge called Boost This Stream, a new way for viewers to help creators reach new audiences. Apparently this is still in closed beta, which is not what I thought. I thought it was rolling out across the whole site last week, but apparently this is still in beta. So it says it's a new community challenge where viewers can pool channel points to unlock a boost reward. The boost reward promotes your stream to highly visible parts of Twitch, and the promotion can help more viewers discover you, your community, and content. So it will appear to viewers in the chat box, like at the top, same as it would if there was like a hype train or a poll, for example. It appears at the top. And it says here, when the challenge reaches 100%, boosting begins. And it says, prepare for liftoff, which is cool. So it sounds like that means you get immediate, the boost starts immediately when you hit the goal, right? That's what it sounds like, which is what I was wondering if that was going to be the case. So basically, yeah, it's, you know, it's saying for everyone, just let your community know about the challenge and they can, you know, be on the lookout for it and give their points as soon as available. It looks like 2,000 points per person per day, right? So you can't just have the same person spam a bunch of points into it. You can opt out of this if you want to. You know, I can understand some communities might not want the, you know, the promotion for whatever reason. So you can opt out if you go into your dashboard, preferences, and promotions. You can opt out of it. It says, when a boost challenge is successfully completed, we'll then promote your stream into highly visible parts of Twitch, like live channels we think you'll like on the front. I'm assuming that's on the front page where you get recommended channels. Apparently it gets boosted into there. And it says, we'll tell you how many times you can expect your stream to be promoted when the challenge starts. So the number of times you'll be seen by a viewer as a promoted stream. So it will give you a number of impressions or boosts that it will tell you that at the start. It says, what factors determine the number of times my channel is placed on a highly visible part of Twitch? It says it depends on a few factors, including the size of your existing audience. Our aim is for boosts to offer valuable opportunity for all streamers. As we experiment early on, we'll be focusing on ways to help smaller streamers, in particular, improve their visibility and reach. How does Twitch determine the number of channel points to complete the challenge? It says the amount of channel points required to successfully boost a stream is scaled with the size and viewership of the channel. So I don't think it's follower count. I think it must be based on average viewer numbers.
Yeah, and last week we talked about real world metrics we had that someone had collected from one of these tests in the wild, and one of them was, I think it was it was a channel with about 300 viewers and an average viewer count of 6, I think. They needed 16,000 channel points, which at 2,000 per person actually like isn't crazy to achieve. And then they netted them 1,900 impressions, so that would be 1,900 people once they've actually seen that. And the way websites do impressions is like knowing that it's been loaded and they've scrolled to that part of the embed in the page, so they've seen it and or clicked on it and interacted with the link.
Yeah,
Pog.
I think it's cool. I got into the beta of it, but nothing has happened as yet. So I was really hoping to get some actual stats over the course of the week so we could talk about it today, but alas, apparently it's just at some point going to randomly go live. I should have.
I really thought you were about to say, I was really excited to get some recognition or something.
No, I
fucking time.
I legit, I really wanted to see the kind of impact. We've seen a couple things on Twitter showing like some people's, and I'm curious to just really see how it works out, and hopefully it'll happen and we can talk about it, but nothing yet. So but it's an interesting one, and again, I really hope this is something Twitch does roll out, because clearly it's a test, but we know sometimes Twitch tests stuff and then it never comes back. I'm hoping this is something that they're going to keep, because I mean, I don't think anyone's mad about this or upset about this feature. No. And honestly, it's a great answer to the problem of discoverability on Twitch, so seems super good to me.
And I think it'll be a win-win all the way around, because obviously the streamer gets more eyes on their channel. In the test cases from the data that we originally saw, like it seemed to double their average viewership for those streams and double their average total views overall for that stream. So, granted, it's only going to be for a set number of impressions, so it's not like you can expect that the following day or the following stream.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can like get that much exposure from a single boost is pretty awesome. And again, I think we lost Kibbs. We got Kibbs. So anyway, I think that like it'll be good for Twitch as well as it'll be good for streamers, because usually like Ginger in chat has mentioned like she thought that this was like already a thing like somehow tied into hype trains. But I think that when you see a channel boosted and the community comes together to get you onto the front page, people will get excited, and you'll probably then see people like cheering with bits and donos and subs and all that stuff. So like I actually think this is a free gesture for Twitch that benefits the streamer and benefits Twitch, because people are gonna like go bonkers when they hit the front page, and people will be excited, and then probably like Twitch will make some extra money off of it. So yeah, it's kind of a win-win.
Agreed. So the next topic we have is the update to the harassment rules on Twitch, which everyone got an email about. So Grog, I know you kind of understand this a little bit better than me, so do you want to explain?
Well, you read the article. You didn't.
Okay, I tried. I'm not good at reading, okay?
I haven't either, though.
Grog's the only one here that can read.
Yeah, true.
That's really only why I was brought on.
We need someone literate.
The first point of consideration when Condi sat down with everyone else who was already part of the channel was, who do we know that can read? I was a librarian still at the time, so it just seemed like a shoo-in. But
I was there in the interview. He just held up a paper. He said, "What words mean?" Grog read them, and we didn't really know if he was right or not.
But I did it with such confidence that it just.
And even like, if you look in the background of Andrew's camera, you can see the paper still on his mini fridge.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Twitch recently, as a couple days ago, about 4 days ago, they announced that they're making changes to their policies about harassment and hateful conduct. So they have a quote here that says, "The company says because marginalized people, including women members of the LGBTQIA plus community, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, are disproportionately harassed on the site. This new policy is supposed to be far more specific about what constitutes harassment and abuse." So I think that like they had, as every company does, a fairly boilerplate, you know, like comment in there about like hateful conduct will not be tolerated, et cetera, et cetera. But the plan for this update is to be more explicit about what that means so that people doing the harassing can't use like any vagaries in the current policy, like prior to this update, to use that as wiggle room to continue to harass people, because that's the issue. So the article goes on to say that larger changes include stricter protections around sexual harassment, policy extending off platform to an extent. And then in cases like where harassment does happen on a different platform, if you've already taken steps on Twitch to like curb or intervene, like say either banning that person or timing them out or reporting them, and that conduct continues elsewhere, then Twitch will take that additional context and abuse from other places into account when responding to these issues. So yeah, it says the policy now prohibits repeatedly commenting on someone's perceived attractiveness, what you believe to be like aspects of their character, etc. Um, and it forbids making lewd or explicit comments about someone's sexuality or appearance. But again, it they're kind of broad surface level policies right now. So the new one is planned to be much more thorough in diagnosing what are all the ways in which somebody might be harassed, how it might affect marginalized communities, and then basically, you know, just trying to. I think they're really just trying to make right by their creators, and we saw that recently where Twitch was made aware that there was a third-party website that was taking links for female creators and embedding them elsewhere, and it was like doing so as a way to like sexualize and harass those female creators.
Mm.
And Twitch made changes so that to the API so that those embeds could not happen, and so that the site was shuttered. So like I think they're trying to take the right steps, and part of what this all like builds up to is that they do have this creator camp on the December 11th, the town hall on December 16th, and there's a final creator camp on January 6th. And basically the December 11th and January 6th are meant to be sort of like roundtable discussions for this specific policy. And then the town hall, which was mentioned at GlitchCon last month, is now going to be, or was it October? Is now going to be also talking about this as well as things like DMCA, and it's going to be an open platform to people have, questions about Twitch and where it's going moving forward.
Yeah. So the town hall is on Wednesday coming, isn't it? Wednesday the 16th.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So just to read again on their town hall, they said if you missed the GlitchCon keynote, we announced that we'd be hosting a Twitch town hall this month. The goal is to give community more clarity about the tools, policies, and resources we're building to continue to address concerns about 3 issues that are top of mind to you. So that will be DMCA, ads, and the updated hateful conduct and harassment policy. We'll be hosting a live Q&A throughout the town hall with questions pulled directly from chat. You can submit questions as well. There's a link there for submitting questions for them. But those 3, I would say, are definitely the big sort of hot button topics right now. So it's going to be interesting. I kind of want to tune in just to see what updates they have for us on those policies. But definitely a good move, I suppose, to have this kind of open discussion with everyone about it.
Yeah, I mean it's because you kind of need you need members of the community to feel like they have a seat at the table, or at least have some sort of voice in the room where it at least these concerns can be hitting the ears of people actually who are the movers and shakers of Twitch. I think town hall meetings like this are important, because without them, you know there's no telling how much of the the current news and gossip and like feelings of the moment are actually being filtered up into the management.
Yeah.
um Obviously there's going to be community managers for any company this size that are supposed to be out there with their feelers, kind of keeping track of the pulse of the community and seeing what people think about new changes or the lack thereof. But there's no better way to communicate those than like direct contact. And I think having this as an opportunity, I mean, obviously the questions they pull from chat are going to be screened. They're not going to just be like, what the fuck about DMCA? You're
Yeah.
like, make Twitch like Facebook gaming. Like, they're not going to take those questions. Um but I think that like just having questions in the moment, there will, I'm sure, be some dodging, like tactful dancing around answering some of those questions.
Yeah.
But at least it puts the pressure on them to actually say something, because it will be live. It will be, in the present, and they have to say something. They can't just ignore them as they come up. And they know that there's topics that like people are going to slam them over. DMCA is going to be far and away the biggest thing that people have questions about, and it's going to be really interesting to see that one play out, because again, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is 22 years old, and it's a weird fucked up piece of legislature from the US Congress. It's not Twitch's fault that it exists, but they are a US based company and they are subject to US based laws. And until this particular law is revised in some way, they have to play ball like every other content platform that's out there. So it'll
Mm.
be interesting to see how they have to like, I don't know how much. I wonder how much education they'll be doing to like actually be like, hey, we're doing what we can, but also it's not our fault. And I wonder how much of the community is ready to just line them up in front of the wall and shoot them over them saying like, oh, you're passing the buck. It's not your fault.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't foresee Twitch having much else to say about DMCA. I mean,
No.
really, what else can they say? I would be overjoyed if they come out with some kind of update that's going to improve, like Twitch soundtrack, for example. Just give us a Twitch soundtrack official Spotify playlist that's fully licensed and ready to go. People will be happy with that. The way that they have it currently is not good, right? But again, you make the point that it's not Twitch's rules and they're having to try and work around it. But they've openly said we need to be better. We should have been better prepared for this. We should have had measures in place. So I don't see what else they can really update us on as far as that goes. I don't know what else they're going to be able to add to the conversation.
One thing that they could do, well, I thought of two things. One thing that they could do is they could clarify more explicitly what the terms of safe harbor are for the website, and right now how they're trying to maintain that. If I think they can demonstrate that they've like, because it sounds like, for anyone who's either watched the podcast or stayed up on the news for the last year, and I'm not going to belabor the point by going back all over it, but like, their Twitch did kind of shield the community from these claimants hitting accounts, and also forcing Twitch's hand to actually have to take action with bans. Twitch basically just kind of had a smoke screen going while they could, quote unquote, try and figure out something, and until they could implement something like soundtrack, they were just kind of looking the other way. And I'd be really curious to see if they talk about what the current state of the safe harbor is and what they need to do to maintain that. Because right now, safe harbor is basically shielding individual content creators from being set upon, but through legal means, by these claims. So if you fucking play, a brand new banger of a track and you get a DMCA claim, that's Twitch shifting the obligation onto you because they have to do that to maintain safe harbor. If they don't do that, then the person who, like, you know, whatever record studio like is hitting you with the claim right now, they're going through Twitch, and then Twitch is dealing with you. If they lose safe harbor, that record company is coming straight at you with a lawsuit, so not at Twitch.
Yeah.
And I'd be really curious to see if they can explain more about where they stand. But here's the other thing, and it's kind of a funny thing I think they should do. Do you know how, like, when Stephen Colbert had the Colbert Report, or like John Oliver has Last Week Tonight right now, and they'll do these little segments that like kind of inform, educate, and add a little bit of levity to the situation, and kind of bring everyone up to speed on like actually giving you the bare facts of like what's going on. And then they give you a hashtag and a link, and it's like, so if you want to do something about it, click this link at the bottom, and it'll take you to like a form that will petition like the government to do XYZ. Like, they should do something like that, because honestly, if they could do a really creative info dump explaining what DMC is, how it works, why it happens, the fact, I don't think a lot of people, again, like, understand, that like, even um if you're not an American streamer, like, Twitch is an American company, so they still have to, employ like American laws, because people are like, well, I live, over here in Europe. Like, why do I care about DMCA? Like, if they had a great info segment, and then just had a link like, go bug your congressperson about this, or this is how you go file a complaint, like, and then the whole community and their fans just like bombarded, the government with like, appeals, that actually would be kind of cool, but I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. Here's something I just want to kind of reinforce, which we've said before, but it's worth mentioning, because I'm still seeing streamers ignoring the DMCA risks. A lot of people know that it's, at least on Twitch, as far as I know, the policy is 3 strikes and you're out, right? 3 DMCA strikes, permanently banned. What I think people think that, like, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
I don't think people think.
I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and once I get a strike, then I'll take action and I'll swap to DMCA safe music. The important thing to remember is that you could get 3 strikes in a single stream quite easily. If you stream 8 hours and you're listening to a playlist and you got 3 strikes in one stream, that's entirely possible, right? It is completely... At this point, it's not even like an unlikely thing that could happen. At this point, that's quite likely. And one stream, you're gone. That could be the reality of it. So it's not something to mess around with. I just think that's worth mentioning, because I feel like there's people out there that think, once I get a strike, I've got 2 more chances, I can deal with it, So it's... I just wanted to kind of, mention that for anyone that might be under a different kind of way of thinking. The other thing that they're going to talk about at the town hall is ads, which I'm curious to see what they say about that, because we know that there was a bit of controversy with Twitch kind of pushing mid-roll ads out, and that's stopped. That was just done as a test. But we saw the community overall, everyone disliked that meme, right?
Yeah.
To me, it seems fairly obvious that this is coming from up top. Someone at Amazon is saying, Twitch, please justify your existence, make us money.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, right. I think that's pretty obvious that that's where all the ads are coming from. We've also seen that, Twitch is introducing things to try and stop people from running third-party ad blockers and things like that. They're pushing out effectively their own small ads. Was it every 10 minutes? A 30-second ad to say, hey, we can see you're using some third-party software. This might be affecting you negatively. Please turn it off to watch Twitch, right? They're really trying to push people away from like ad blocker and things like that. So we know that Twitch want to just put more ads in, right? We know that. So I mean, what do you think they're gonna say about ads at this town hall meeting? Because if they go up on stage and say, guess what, guys, we're bringing back the mid-roll ads, it's gonna be terrible. So like, what are they gonna say? I'm really curious.
I think they probably are going to just try to address, and I'm not going to say they're going to do it well, and I'm not going to say that they will have an answer or that it will be tactful. But I think one of the things they're going to try and address is the split for affiliates and partners, because that's a topic that a lot of people are very fired up about and feeling like the split at present is not equitable enough. Um, so and again, I'm talking about not subs, but specifically the ad revenue as it pertains to these pre rolls, and if you choose to do your own mid rolls, like how that shakes out. Um, some of this, though, is like I think is just going to fall on deaf ears in terms of the community, because I think the community will go into the town hall having already decided how they feel about Twitch. And I don't think that no matter what they say, it's going to change some people's view of the platform after the fact. I think some of that just has to do with the fact that overall people are kind of like happy to be willfully ignorant about things. And I'm not like trying to turn my sights on the community here, but like if you think about it, it's a platform that you were never obligated to pay for. You were never obligated to like sub or do donos or bits or whatever. It's a free platform as much as Facebook is a free platform, as much as network TV, if you do over the air, television, like it's all free. Well, how is it free? Someone pays for it. All the networks
Yeah.
and all of the infrastructure needs some sort of funding. And like, I mean, you could get into an whole argument about like how maybe there should be government subsidies for like the arts and whatnot and entertainment, but there isn't, or there's not enough. And as it is, the model that we have is that so much of this stuff is rooted in advertisement funding. So if you have people turning off advertisements for a website like this, where part of it is going to a very, very, very slim portion is going to the streamer, but the bigger portion is just going to keeping the platform running. um I mean, yeah, some of it's lining the pockets of Twitch, but let's be honest. Can you imagine what kind of server structure they have to transcode like hundreds of thousands of streams that are live at any given time and saving VODs for up to 2 weeks for affiliates and then up to 60 days for partners, and doing like the automatic clips and like there's so much that we have at our disposal that costs the user nothing, and like what it's costing them is a 30-second pre-roll. And honestly, I don't see that as a bad trade-off, but that's just me. I mean, like, because I'm trying to be a pragmatist about this. Realistically, if we don't have ads, the platform disappears.
Yeah.
If you don't have ads, Facebook disappears. If you don't have ads, like Instagram disappears. And Twitter is only what people freaked out when Twitter started getting promoted content, and it wasn't just like this, like static timeline of things as they came in order. And people were like, well, Twitter was supposed to be this like place where like advertising wasn't a thing. And it's like, yeah, because they had a fuck ton of startup capital and they had all these angel investors and they had like people who were funneling the money, but that only works for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, advertisements make these things work. If you have people stop watching them, advertisers won't start offering to put their ads on the channel. If they don't put their ads on the platform, then the platform doesn't make money and then the whole system just crumbles. So I don't think they're going to be able to say much. Ads aren't going away, but I think maybe they can talk more about the splits and the revenue, and how like be more transparent about where that money goes. Twitch doesn't really have an org chart, I think, that is publicly available. So like just knowing how they operate and where their funds are allotted and like how they're prioritizing spending on projects could be insightful. But again, I think people will go into the whole thing having already made up their mind, and
Yeah.
they'll probably leave just being like, "Fuck this, fuck that, fuck DMC." Like I don't know.
I can't remember who said it, but it's always stuck with me, which is someone said if a service or a platform is free, then that means you are the product, right? That's the whole point. You're the product, and it's being sold to advertising companies, right? But that's it when it comes down to it. If it's free, it means that you're the actual product that's being sold, which makes a lot of sense. But I agree. I mean, I personally don't mind ads. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys watch a ton of YouTube. I do. And this month, because obviously ad revenue in December for YouTubers is always good, I have been getting just non-stop ads this last couple of weeks, but it's because it's December, right? And YouTubers know it. They, you'll see a lot more people uploading, and you'll be getting a lot more ads because that's just how it works on YouTube.
We watched like a 15-minute video last night, and it had almost 6 ads.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But you know what? I don't care, like, because I'm getting to watch that content for free.
Sense.
And I know it annoys a lot of people, and that, that's absolutely fine. Me personally, it's like, I'll watch the ad. I don't care. Just to reference what Dolly Pop said in chat, which is something I've thought would be amazing as well. If they decided to treat their clips like an endless scroll similar to TikTok and put ads in that, it would be game over. And I agree, right? The Twitch app on mobile is garbage. Like, it's so... There's so many things that you can't do on the app. There's a big delay as well if you watch on an app. Twitch need to sort that out. And if they had a section where they had clips and it was similar to TikTok and you could scroll through and there's a little follow button for any, clips that you think are really good. You come across a streamer that you think this is really funny content. I'm going to follow them. I can go and check out their channel. And every so often they just had an ad. That's exactly what TikTok does. They have ads every so often that come up, and you could scroll through it, and creators could put their clips on there with hashtags or even just like the tag system that Twitch has. That would be huge for everyone. It'd be
awesome.
It would be great for content creators to be able to get their content out there as small clips. I mean, that's effectively what I do on TikTok now. I take good clips from the stream and throw them up on TikTok. If they had it built in to the Twitch app, it would be amazing. And they could do it, I mean, I assume fairly easily. Right now, if you watch a clip on Twitch, it'll recommend you other clips similarly. Why not have that in the app and you can just scroll through them, right? Clips on Twitch are what, maximum 60 seconds? It's the exact same as TikTok, 60-second clips. I feel like there's something there, and they need to do something with that mobile app, and I would love to see that feature. I think it's superb.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be a good thing to do. Any other thoughts on this at all, on the town hall and kind of what they're going to be talking about?
Well, one thing to bounce off what you just said is I want to highlight something Dolly just said in chat, which was it would encourage viewers to clip a lot more as well. Dedicated community members already do, but even for communities that have like a regular following, sometimes the clips are, just like they happen on occasion when people think about it. But like, if you actually had a mode where you knew that like making a clip might potentially help, the community that you're a part of and that you want to keep supporting, like that would be a great way for also viewers to be, increase the amount of engagement. Because imagine if right now when you watch a clip, it'll say who clipped it. You can see who made the clip of what channel. So for example, like if I see that like Condi makes just a lot of good clips in general, imagine if viewers could start being followed on a service like that too. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just the content creators in the channel, but like if the clip cutter, the clip editor actually like could get exposure, like that would certainly incentivize people to like be invested. I think it's a fucking great idea.
So I was recently listening to a podcast that had Tommy in it on the podcast. He's if you're not aware of him, he's a Minecraft streamer who has blown up. Like insane, very young guy. He's only like 16. He's still in college, but I opened up his stream the other night and he had 220,000 viewers just playing Minecraft. Like the guy has got insane, sort of ninja peak level viewership. And he was saying a huge thing for him was viewers would clip his content and throw it on TikTok and it would get millions and millions of views. And he never really touched it, but he got so much promotion from other people clipping his content and throwing it up on TikTok. And he's fine with it because he's like, hey, it brought people to my channel, So yeah, I really think they need to get on something like that. It's a great idea. I don't know why they haven't done something like this already, Anyway, interesting. So shall we talk about this? Well, before we get into the console discussion, the potential. Okay, so I think if I understand it correctly, it's a U.S. senator who's trying to push a bill or a law through would effectively turn a DMCA into a felony, if I'm not wrong here.
Yeah, no, you're right. Um basically there's a package. They're basically he's trying to work this into a larger bill. And so this happens a lot in US government where there will be bills or pieces of legislation that are being pushed through for, reason X, but, like Congressperson Y is basically injecting their own little subclause like into the bill that may or might not even be related. And effectively, Thom Tillis, a Republican senator, is trying to do that very same thing, where if you, basically, he's priming the rails for new legislation that it's not in place and it's not guaranteed to happen, but that could make streaming copywritten content a felony, which is
Yeah.
fucking wild. And there's a associate director for policy and activism with the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and I think her quote really sums it up well. Her name is Catherine Trendoska, and the quote is, "A felony streaming bill would be a chill on expression," which I agree. I mean, basically, it would limit the opportunity for not just online expression, but any form of like media expression, and basically funnel it down to the haves and the have-nots, and the haves being the existing television, music, and movie industry that already has the money to, they're already in the business of production, and creating content and distributing it. And basically, if you can imagine all independent creators disappearing, and you just have, cable television, and you just have, big movie studios, and you basically don't have, I mean, streaming would disappear. You couldn't stream. The only streams that would exist would be just chatting, or any sort of art-based or craft-based thing where you're, doing your original content. But you wouldn't see people playing games. You wouldn't see people doing, I mean, Twitch Sings isn't a thing anymore, but like you wouldn't see people doing, covers of songs. You wouldn't see any of that. It would just be gone.
Yeah. Which is kind of a scary, scary thought. I mean, they keep adding. I mean, we had in the UK Article 13, which I think got changed to Article 17, which was on a similar kind of scale, where it would basically make any content uploaded to like YouTube or Twitch wouldn't come under safe harbor, meaning that, Twitch could be sued for anything uploaded, or YouTube could be sued. So YouTube kind of came out and said, if this all goes through, then we might just have to block the site for anybody in the EU that falls under Article 17, because we can't allow you to upload anything because there's a chance of, legal action. And that was kind of like, okay, that's a bit scary. And, I haven't kept up with what's happening there. I know the article passed, so I guess that could still be in the works. I don't really know. But then it's, they're adding more and more things. I mean, there was the idea of, with this Article 17, that if you post a link on your social media, you had to pay like a tax for that, like you'd cost you money to link things, and you could get in trouble for posting a meme on your Twitter or whatever like that. It's they just keep adding more and more things, and it feels to me we're going in the opposite direction of where we should be going.
Just filling out your taxes and be like, yeah, I own a house. Yeah, I have 2 jobs. I posted 30 memes on Twitter.
Yeah, right. I linked my stream 100 times. Yeah, it's bonkers, man. It really is crazy. And we just have to hope that common sense prevails, and this doesn't end up going through. But it's mad, man. I mean, they're trying to really just cut down what we can do on the internet, which is a little sad. Again, as I've said before, I'm all for fair copyright laws. My understanding, or my thoughts on it, is the DMCA was created to prevent, big companies taking advantage of artists and labels and just using their music to go and advertise to thousands of people, right? It was never designed for, a streamer with 20 viewers to sit and, be listening to music. and they keep pushing this. You know, it's crazy. Somebody mentioned in chat they wonder when TikTok's going to start getting hit with DMCA's. TikTok's a very interesting one because I don't know about anyone else, but I've certainly seen some TikToks that get muted every so often. It doesn't seem to happen a lot, but some do seem to get muted. I've had a couple muted, but very old ones, and I don't usually get a notification to say anything's happened. They just mute the audio for whatever reason. But again, the weird thing with TikTok is it seems like right now labels are actually paying influencers to use their song because they know that it will go mega viral and then their song is going to get a bunch of listens. There was an artist on a podcast I listened to who just blew up in popularity purely because a clip of his song on TikTok got so big, and he went to like, at the time it was something like 50 million streams on Spotify, and this was like a young guy, independent, just made music, and he was like out touring and everything because this song blew up on TikTok. It's the power of TikTok for music seems to be huge, and understandably I can see why that would happen, because you know, if you're someone that just sits and scrolls through, you're going to get songs stuck in your head and you're going to go look them up. But it will be interesting to see if they start getting hit with DMCA as well, because right now the RIA seem to be leaving TikTok completely alone. But yeah, it's wild. I hope this doesn't actually end up becoming a reality. I don't really want to go to prison because somebody rickrolled me.
Imagine that happens. So you get rickrolled, you have to go to prison, bro.
Yeah.
What are you in for?
Yeah.
Murder. What are you in for? I got rickrolled.
Rick Astley.
Someone in the chat is like,
You murdered Rick Astley?
look at this cute video, and it's just like, it starts off like a cat video and it's just a rickroll and you get put in prison for that, dude. That'd be the ultimate story.
The sicko mode comes on, like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some of the concern right now is that like there were bills in the past, SOPA, SOPA, and PIPA. This is like in the mid to early 2000s. These were two laws that eventually failed because of online pushback. They were similar. They're not the same, but they were similar in the fact that like they, if written into law, there was enough vagary in it that you could, like websites like Dropbox, DeviantArt, like any websites that shared content potentially would come under the axe and would have disappeared, because basically those laws were against, written under the guise of like being anti-piracy, but then the argument was like, you know, people on, like, say for example DeviantArt could draw like artwork that's based on intellectual property that is owned by somebody else, and therefore even though it's an artistic, you know, expression of like someone's like original creation based on like an unoriginal work, like, so you want to draw Sailor Moon, I don't know, or whatever it is, you know, and you put it up there, those websites could have been shuttered, or like websites like Mediafire or Dropbox or even, you know, Google storage, like were under threat, because then it's like, well, the law as written was like, well, you can store, you know, pirated content under these platforms, so like these platforms, you know, could be erased. um those didn't pass because they were their own bill. The worrying thing here is that this is part of an omnibus bill that is part of a federal spending package, that is on a bipartisan level, both parties agree needs to be passed. So this is a guy basically taking an unrelated thing and shoehorning it in. And if you look up Thom Tillis's donors list, basically he has been given massive donations by many, many tech companies and many, many content creation companies, you know, Comcast, Time Warner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And basically, this law guaranteed. I mean, I would drop money right now on a bet he did not author this law. This is just, um, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? This is a lobbyist bill that is basically Capitol Hill lobbyists have constructed a bill, handed it to him, and then, you know, because they gave him campaign monies, he's now going to try and shove it into this larger omnibus bill. Um, it's fucking corrupt and sick as shit. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it, and you know, it's a dangerous one. Because I mean, again, it's worth mentioning that even though all of us are very aware of DMCA and very safe with it, you can never know 100% that something's not gonna appear. You know?
I got real worried when I was streaming on Friday, I think it was, because I use Epidemic Sound. I pay for it, and I get all that stuff. And then I was just listening to jazz, and suddenly, like, the birthday song, like Happy Birthday, came
Oh
on,
shit!
but a jazz variant, and I was like, it's like, I know this is. Oh wait, okay, no, okay, we're good.
Dude, the guy that invented Happy Birthday is really mad at you now.
I know. It's like those motherfuckers sue. They sue a lot.
Probably called out of the grave and was like, "This motherfucker just played my shit on stream."
He just woke up from bed, straight up, right to his computer.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Grog, do you want to tell us about the bricking consoles headline thing? Because I didn't read the article.
I'll keep this one pretty brief. Basically, there's an interesting thing happening right now where I lost the thing. Where's my thing? Here we go. Yeah, so there's an interesting thing right now that is not just affecting like the next gen consoles, but also current generation consoles, where there are localized companies, so just all over the globe, that do tech and like system repairs on hardware and software, right? Like you have shops that you can take your PC to, you have shops that you can take your console to get fixed. Here's the thing though, is that there's an article that was published by Wired that was picked up by Ars Technica, and it's an interesting article because it talks about how DMCA is not just affecting content creators who are either playing video games that the developers are happy that you play, but in theory could be under threat by laws like the one Thom Tillis wants to put out, but also it's affecting hardware. So the article is basically saying, it gives the example of like broken optical drives on discs. Part of the problem is that Microsoft and Sony locked down the software that they use to pair the disc readers with their consoles' motherboards. So shops that could easily replace those drives by accessing the software and pair drives to the boards can't do that, because in doing so would violate the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. There is effectively a provision within DMCA that would make it's like an obscure part of even the DMCA, but it would mean that they would be in violation of the Copyright Act, and as a result, they can't fix a console that could be fixed. And then in the cases of like some of these companies that do repairs, if you send a thing into them and maybe they like give you a refurbished one or what have you, maybe they have a trade-in program, they have usually stocks of like old stuff, kind of like a junkyard does, where it's like if you ding a fender in your car, you could either like pay crazy money for the dealership to replace it, or you could just find a replacement bumper somewhere. Well, these guys have like bits and pieces of heat sinks and optical drives and all sorts of stuff kicking around in their shops. They can't use it because the DMCA makes it illegal to quote circumvent a technological feature. Quote, circumvent a technological measure that effectively controls access to copyrighted work. And because Microsoft and Sony both have copywritten software for pairing drives with like basically the BIOS of the software, you can't replace certain parts legally. Now, like, and so it's just crazy, but it does say that every 3 years, the Library of Congress decides that for certain products, circumvention of these digital locks can and should be allowed. And that time is coming up. So next week, there's advocates that will be pushing the U.S. Copyright Office to make it so that fixing consoles, along with other software-enabled devices, make that legal. And their push is strictly going to be from a repairs point of view. But I mean, like, it's just fucking wild.
Yeah.
It's not just you playing a song. It's also the fact that like you can't replace certain like hardware because there's a copyright on the software that's then used to make the repair process possible. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's insane.
Crazy.
Dude, copyright is just, it's, yeah. I don't know. It never ends. It never ends. Unlike this podcast, which does end.
Damn, smooth, bro.
Thank you. I'm
I
getting
like that
pretty good at
segue.
this. We're 37 episodes in, and I've learned to segue.
Oh my God.
He
Yeah.
wanted to keep it to an hour, and it is an hour on the dot, folks.
On
Let's
that,
go.
look at us go. Grog, where can everyone find you, and what do you want to plug?
Folks can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/grogmode. You can find me on all other platforms at gamer_grog. I stream 5 days a week. One of those days is on Saturdays. I stream with my wife, and we do
My wife.
fun sort of like variety streams, usually of like a narrative nature. Please check us out. It's great. We do like a playthrough of all sorts of funny stuff that usually gets us up into some silly shenanigans. And then I do a lot of Cold War and Warzone, and I'm going to be doing a lot of Cyberpunk. So you can check me out Monday through Thursday doing that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Kibbles, what about yourself?
Yeah. So you can find me, The Mighty Kibbles, kind of everywhere except for Twitter. It's The Mighty Kibbles. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, obviously. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm gonna stream later today because my wife is gonna go hang out with one of her friends and help her kid. So I'm just gonna stream.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm slowly working on some videos. So
We were having a conversation in stream about cereal, and I was telling everyone about your burial videos. Very interesting conversation.
I came up with a new idea for Kibbles, and I
Yep.
really want to see you pursue
Yep.
it.
we have a couple ideas, and then the ones that Grog gave, I really like, mainly because it doesn't sound like it's gonna make me puke, which is helpful.
Do you mind if I say Kibbles?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I think my best suggestion
do
was he did
mind.
the burial video. I was suggesting he has like a base sort of neutral salad green mix that he keeps consistent across every preparation, and like a basic vinaigrette, and then what cereals taste best as croutons. So like you use just different
okay.
cereals as croutons on salads.
I like that one. I like that. You have
Yeah.
a whole cereal series on your on your channel.
Yep,
I love
that's
it.
all my content is now. Cereal.
Cereal based content. I love it. All right, and Manu, where can everyone find you? And I mean, do you have anything you want to plug or anything like that?
Oh, bro. I mean, people could, if they want, they could find me under that guy called on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I mean, I haven't streamed in 2 months, and I haven't uploaded a video in 4 months. But hey, if I upload a video, I do like to think that they are pretty good. So if you want to go check them out, I mean, they're there, you know? They're pretty good, I think. So maybe I'll upload a video in like 2 months or something, you know?
You should.
So yeah.
I wanted to see a Cyberpunk video from you. I'm not gonna lie.
I could, but you know, like the thing is with the whole censor thing, if you want to, like, I have it on, I don't have it off, right? Because I haven't streamed yet.
Yeah.
If you want to turn it off, you have to start a whole nother like new playthrough.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I thought
Like,
you
you
could
have to
just
make a
turn it
new
off and on
character.
in the main menu.
No, I don't think you can. I think I watched a video. Someone said he wanted to do it and he couldn't because you have to like start a new game for that.
So I originally didn't have it turned off, but I was playing off stream, and I just wanted to test and see if it worked. And I was sitting looking through the options, and I was like, I don't see an option for a nudity filter. And I was messaging CK about it, and then I restarted the game, and at the main menu, you can go in and turn the filter on, and then I just hit continue back into my save. And I assumed that meant that I had the filter.
Suddenly, all the
on.
dicks were gone.
Suddenly, I didn't have it anymore.
I may
so-
have to restart then if that's the case.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Just like in the video, he said he can't like do it.
Interesting.
Maybe he meant he can't do it like in game. He has to go like out of the game. Maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure. I want to do a video on it, and that's just like the main reason why I can't or
Sure.
why I don't. Because like I mean, if I was monetized, YouTube would be mad, but I'm not. So I mean, I guess it's fine.
True. Well, Manu, it's been very nice to have you back on the show. We need to do this more often. All right, and
And Gandhi, what about you? Where can everybody find you? Are you working on anything?
thank you for asking. Yeah, so I'm Cody
No one
Fly. You
cares.
can find me Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all the places. I put 2 videos out this past week, which is a pace that I definitely cannot keep up. So the first one was we did the 2 truths and a lie stream, which was a lot of fun. I ended up wearing makeup and a wig. That was fun. So that video is up there. And then Grog and I played in a Call of Duty tournament, a duos Warzone tournament. We came 6th, which I think was really good. I had 23 teams, and I want to do more. So we're probably going to do more of that. So I put a video up about that. And yeah, I'm just going to be doing probably Cyberpunk this week, if I can figure out the nudity filter.
Pogue.
So that's probably my plans. But yeah, more importantly, you should follow the podcast on all the different things. We have a YouTube channel. We are very far behind. I'm going to take Cyber's job away from him of doing the thumbnails. I'm just going to start doing it myself because we're super far behind on the YouTube side of it. But go and subscribe and we'll upload a bunch of things. We have off-topic episodes that we need to go up on there. One of them isn't even on Spotify. It's just going to be on the YouTube as a little exclusive. So yeah, make sure and check that out. And then add the podcast at Zero Strategy Pod on Twitter if you want to check out there. If you're listening on one of the audio platforms, we also stream this live on Twitch, which is just /Zero Strategy Podcast. And if you're watching the podcast on Twitch and you like what you heard, you can find us on Spotify with all of our previous episodes, which Spotify is my job, so those episodes get uploaded the next day every week. All right.
Also, quick shout out. My wife mentioned something in chat, which I think
My
is
wife.
pretty cool. She says she highly recommends the podcast Louder Than a Riot for folks interested in hearing more about laws being used against content creators. I would go check that out, folks, not just because it's my wife who said so, but she is the queen of all things podcast, and she is up on the news. She has her finger on the pulse of tech. So yeah, the podcast that she's recommending is Louder Than a Riot. And again, it's about laws being used against content creators.
Pog.
Hell yeah. All right. We are going to go raid someone, so please do stick around for that. Thank you very much for listening. We do appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week. And hopefully we'll be all caught up on YouTube and everything by then. But thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.